So many questions about forming a trend identification and how you can form the end of a trend. And so realistically, we're going to break this down, right? So when you have kind of an up trade going up like this, then you have this down trade going on over here, right? We're going to be going over a masterclass on how you can spot trend reversals accurately. Why not here? Why not here? What gives you a trend reversal, right? So a lot of this comes down to understanding the price action around the trend. So this is the Dow Jones on the 5-minute time frame. I'm just going to go to the 15-minute time frame as well, right? So what we can see over here is we can see a trend reversal. So we were definitely bullish, then we switched to bearish. And so when it comes to forming a trend reversal, I'm looking at a couple of things, right? I'm looking at the Asian session. This is very important to understand. I'm looking at the Asian session. I'm then looking at the PO3, and we're going to go over the power of 3 in a lot of detail, and we're going to look at what we call entering inside of a wick. Entering inside of a wick. And then the last thing we're going to look at is, of course, order flow, right? I can't make a video without order flow because order flow is the most important thing. And so what order flow basically tells you is buyers versus sellers. And so the question I want to ask every trader is, when you trade, there's only 2 buttons you have access to, right? So what are those buttons? So those buttons are going to be buy and sell. So knowing where buyers and sellers are aggressive and where buyers and sellers are passive will ultimately help you determine trend absorptions and trend reversals, right? Super important. So let's first start with the Asia session. So let's just kind of move this to the side. How do I use the Asian session to my advantage, right? So the Asian session itself is a low volume time of day that is very important to consider. So this is the Asian session, right? So the Asian session will start at, if I just get the timings up, Asian session starts at 20 o'clock EST and finishes at either 12:15 or simply just midnight New York time, right? So this is your Asia session. So what is the importance of an Asian session, right? So the Asian session I use very simply. I want to look at the Asian low with one red line, and I want to look at the Asian high, the next red line. And so if we now go down to the 5-minute time frame here on the Dow Jones or US 30, right? The way I typically use